So this week we have a ton of information to learn when it comes to muscle. But for my presentation, we're going to talk about the three types of muscle we have in our body and their structure and function. So we have three specific muscle types to discuss. Firstly, skeletal muscle, and that is just what it sounds like. It's muscle that is primarily used for the skeleton, and it gives it strength, it supports it, and it also gives some protection to our internal organs, and it just helps us to ambulate around. Secondly, we have smooth muscle. This muscle aids us in things like digestion. It helps with our airway control, breathing, and then also in the reproductive system. So most of these things are things we don't really think about. They just happen. We don't think about digesting our food or breathing, things like that. And then third, we have cardiac muscle, which is specific to the heart. It regulates the heartbeat and aids in pumping the blood to the rest of our body. Again, this muscle is automatic. It does what it does without us needing to give it any thought or input, really. Let's take a deeper look at each of these muscle types and how they aid us in daily life. Again, we mostly don't realize it's even happening. So skeletal muscles are long and cylindrical. They have multiple nuclei and are really identifiable by the striations that they have kind of across them. And skeletal muscle does everything from helping us move, helps with our posture, again, protects some of our internal organs, and also aids in things like sphincter control, which are pretty important things to have. Um, it also helps us maintain our body temperature, works with circulation, and is also a storage for energy in the form of glucose. A lot of these muscles we can exercise to build them up and strengthen them, unless you're like me and just don't have time for it now that you're in the thick of the semester. But they mostly need input from us in order to function, and they do attach directly to our bones. Okay, our smooth muscle also has multiple functions in our body. It is helpful in the regulation of blood flow through our body. It helps get food through our gastrointestinal tract, and it also works in our reproductive tract to aid in things like uterine contraction for childbirth. But even before that, it helps with the movement of sperm and egg to their meetup location. Smooth muscle also plays a big role in our lungs and urinary systems. So as you can see, it has a more spindly shape with a single nucleus, and this picture is referencing smooth muscle of the intestinal tract. Okay, onto cardiac muscle. It pretty much keeps all of its talents to itself, meaning it is unique to just the heart. And without our heart, we cease to exist. The heart is in a constant state of working. It never really stops working until it does stop, and hopefully for most of us, that's not for many years to come. So it ensures that we have blood flow throughout our whole body. It maintains our heartbeat and is constantly adapting to the amount of stress that we put on it without getting too tired and fatigued, unlike our friends, the skeletal muscles, which do quickly become fatigued. And it does all this on its own without direct input from us. And we can do a lot to keep our heart healthy with diet and exercise. And hopefully it will last us a long time. Just for fun, as we're ending on the heart, I thought I would throw in this picture of a device that I was able to see in action this past weekend. EMS was using this in place of needing to do manual chest compressions on the patient. And the cool thing about this device, I don't know a whole lot about it. Like I said, I only seen it this one time in action, but it doesn't get tired like humans do when doing CPR. If you've ever done CPR, you know it is something that wears you out really quickly. Doing those chest compressions is a lot of work. And also the rhythm is a set time, and there's not a lot of variation in the amount of compressions it does. So it just ensures that the patient is receiving the best quality compressions possible. It is a pretty neat machine. If you are interested or get a chance, Google it and see how cool this thing is. Anyways, thanks for listening and have a great week.